Welcome back, everyone. It's great to be here for episode 5. I'm Jodie Fielden, and I'm joined with my work wife, bestie, and business partner, Adri Varga. During these podcasts, we share with you how you can turn challenges into opportunities, overcome obstacles, and discover practical strategies to create your success.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. And we hope you enjoyed our last few episodes and you are ready to dive into this one with us because today we are going to talk about bringing change to our industry and how we can help salon and studio owners discover what really makes a salon and a studio successful.
That's right. Today, we're going to have a look at 3 reasons, the 3 areas most salon and studio owners have trouble with, and how they can turn it around and change the statistics. Because the statistics out there say that approximately 80% of salons and 81% of studios do not survive beyond their first 18 months of business, of when they first open the door, whether they open the door or they've taken over someone else's salon or studio, and 50% of them closed within 6 years. And that's a large percentage of those businesses were actually profitable. I can't even speak today, Adri. So, Adri, why don't you start with me? I want you to tell us about. We're going to start with reason number 3 first. Okay, we're not going to start with the number 1. We're going to start with reason number 3, and that's staff. Why are they closing because of their staff?
Yeah, so the statistics says to us that because they are hiring the wrong people for their business, and for one reason I can understand with the statistics, but then I'm going to put my 2 cents into it because I have other like I have one more reason why it comes to back to team. So the statistics says us that hiring the wrong people is one of the reason, and it is because comes back to leadership and comes back to understanding how to build your team and how to motivate your team. And when it comes to us, business owners, salon owners, studio owners, we are very very passionate about our business, but many times we are failing to understand who we really want to invite to our business. And once we invite the wrong people to our culture, to our business culture, and to our environment, it only takes one bad egg, to ruin the whole environment, the whole industry. And we learned and we saw it in so many times in so many businesses that it takes only one bad person to actually ruin a whole culture which was working before.
Yeah, it's scary to see
Mm,
how often I think of when we're working with one of our clients, and she has built this amazing team. And do you remember she called you up in a panic because
yeah.
her best employee was leaving? Like, this girl had been with her for years. She was the biggest earner. She did the training for the girls, like, and all because of something that was going on with that one person.
Yeah, yeah, and it's sadly, uh, generally what happens, like the business owner takes time until it's really, really comes to clarity, until they really come to clarity that actually is one team member who is the problem, and it's very tricky. I think it's extremely tricky to pick that when you are, like in your own environment. It's very difficult because you live amongst your team members, your staff members. You try to reason, you try to find excuses, and many times we take too long to make that very important decision, which is sit down with the team member and have a chat to that team member. And many times what happens, you come one day to work and then people are leaving, and that's really something which surprises business owners, because you say like, I didn't see this coming.
Mhm. I know. They're always surprised, and we've been saying to them, there are things that you need to do to mitigate the what it is that a rogue team member and how toxic someone can be in your culture if you haven't made sure that you've hired the right person for the job and the person that actually fits in with the culture and the environment that you're trying to um, build. So that leads us on to the second part of it, which I think you were touching on before, about training the right people. Like, The bit that you don't believe, that it's not about hiring the wrong person, it's about you.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into, like not training the right people, the other thing what is belongs to leadership and to this statistic, this part of the statistics, that sometimes, like when we start to work with business owners, and actually surprisingly many times they actually have the right team, but it comes back to leadership, and it comes back the knowledge, like how am I going to motivate my team, keep my team together. And the fact is, like most of us, most of the business owners, we are not naturally leaders. Leadership is something what we need to learn, and this is when it comes back to training, isn't it? First we need to train us to become really good leaders, because our team only can be as good as we are as leaders. And if we don't have clarity around what is our expectations, or we don't have systems, then our team is going to do what they think is the best for the business, which is not necessarily going to be the best thing for us.
Exactly. And I think a lot of our bad habits gets passed on to the team members as well. Like when we're not doing things the right way, they pick up on that and they start following that as well. Whether it's in a salon or in a studio, like your bad habits become their bad habits.
Yeah, and like in the other hand, what it is really you need to watch your team, because your team is your reflection in the mirror, really. So whatever they behave, whatever they speak, or they treat your clients, it all comes back to you, because the fact is, like as business owners, we are the one who we never can drop the ball. So when we have our business, we are actually we show example for our team members. And if things are not working in our business, this is when we need to have a look what is my part of it, why my team doesn't seem to be listened. I told to them hundreds of times the same thing, and they still don't do it the way I want to. They still don't listen. So it is actually a really big subject which keeps coming back, like they just not capable to do things, they just don't listen, they don't care. And when we actually start to peel the layers, like an onion layer, we always going to come back to the basic, which is us.
Yeah, it's true. It at the end of the day, we have to own it. It's us. All right,
Yeah.
so let's look at we're going to look at reason number two. So reason number two is poor planning. So what do we mean? Like when they say poor planning, does that just mean like business plan? I think a lot of people just think, oh, that's business planning or something. What does poor planning actually mean?
Yeah, the poor planning means, firstly, we don't have clarity on what we want. Or once we have a clarity what we want, we don't know how to get there. So we don't have the clarity on goals, but then we don't have strategy behind what we want to achieve that goal. And it comes back because we never been taught how to properly, forecast our business, how we properly, plan for what we want to achieve. And that's a big part of, having a successful business. You need to have clarity on your goals, and many times the problem is, that we are either big picture people or either detail people. And both of those personality is actually struggling when it comes to clarifying their goals. Because when you are big picture, you have so many great ideas, and you're going to follow one ideas after the other idea, but you will have really, really big and hard time to break it down to strategy and how to achieve those goals. And when you are a detailed person, you will struggling to figure it out what you really want. Most of the detailed people, they actually can look into the future for probably between 3 to 6 months. And they are struggling to figure out what they want for their business. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know what is possible. And that creates confusion.
Yeah, and what's the saying you always have about confusion creates or what what is it? Confusion clarity. What's that
Yeah,
saying that you
yeah. So when people confuse, they stagnate. So confusion creates stagnation, and clarity creates momentum. So yeah, and
see,
that's so
I'm
true.
confused.
It's all good.
So
Yeah.
so when you mentioned strategy, like, I think the word strategy is really overwhelming for a lot of people. Like, we're used to saying it, and we're quite comfortable with it, and we don't think a lot of it. But I think that whole perception of a business strategy is just too it is confusing. So can you just break down, like, what does a strategy mean when we're working with business owners? Like, in the tangible real world, what does a strategy look like?
Yeah, so the strategy is basically the way to simplify your path to get to your goals. It's mapping out the journey to break it down to very small daily doable tasks. And this is what strategy is. It's not. It shouldn't be that overwhelming. Once you have clarity on your goals, there is a method to it. How you're going to break it down, and you're going to break it down to milestones. You're going to break it down to 90 days, a month, and then you break it down to daily actions. And when you break down your goal to this miniature part of actions, which are shouldn't be more than 10-20 minutes tasks, this is when you have the freedom to step away from overwhelm. You don't need to always keep front of your eye, like what you want to achieve in 12 months or 9 months. You're only going to focus on today, and maybe tonight you're going to map out tomorrow, and tomorrow you are going to focus on tomorrow. And that is really that simple, that you're going to have three tasks what you're going to accomplish, and you promise to yourself you're going to accomplish, and that three tasks are going to take you towards to achieving your goals. So this is strategy, like it's just simplifying everything, so it's easy for you to know what to do next.
Yeah, it's basically just the plan. Like, when you take the big picture, you break it all down, and you just work out how you're going to get there. That's your strategy.
Yes.
I think the next thing that we were mentioning in the poor planning was the niche. Now, you do a really good explanation of identifying the first layer of your niche. Like, everyone talks about niche targeting, niche this, niche that. What is a niche, and how do you determine which niche is yours?
Yeah, so we have our ice bath strategy, what we share normally with our clients, and that means simply that not everyone is meant to be your clients. And when it comes to the market, the truth is there is two different markets. One market is a value-based market, and the other market is a bigger market, which is a price-based market. And when we talking about niching down to a market, we simplify this because we actually keeping eye or keeping in mind only two markets. One market is based on price, like lower price, and that market attracting clients by discounts and specials. And then we have another market, which is a value-based market, when those salon owners, they attracting clients by providing a valuable service, and it's not really about price, it's about client journey, and it's about the service they're providing. So that's the very basic thing when it comes to niching down.
Yeah, and that brings us into the next part, which is the marketing. And this is kind of where I geek out and nerd into everything.
Yes,
Um,
I think.
so everyone says that they need a marketing guru, or they need to go into a social media management and things like that. It's not true. You don't have to do it. And the marketing doesn't need to be so overwhelming. But there are a couple of things that you do need to understand so that you know what you're doing and you're not wasting your money on promotions and advertising that doesn't work, and it doesn't bring anyone into your business. Or if it does bring people in, they're the clients that you were talking about, that are the price-based clients that are looking for discounts, like, that's all you're attracting, and that's not what, we aim for when we're growing a business and taking them to the next level. So we need to really come all the way back and understand the meta world. Um, a lot of salon owners that we speak with they're just boosting their
Mm.
Instagram or Facebook posts. They're
Mhm.
throwing a $50 boost to it, but it's not doing anything. They don't get a phone call from that boost, like, they don't get a appointment from that boost. They need to have a plan, and I guess this is where your strategy comes into it too, is working out which clients you're going to attract and how you're going to do it. And a lot of I see in so many Facebook groups that they're doing the follow me back, the Instagram, I'm trying to
Yes.
build my page, I'm trying to build my following. First of all, the first thing you need to understand or you need to have clarity on when it comes to the marketing is what is your goal with your social media? Are you an influencer? Are you trying to sell retail? Or are you trying to get appointments and people to come and book in with you? So that's the first thing you need to know. And then you need to think about, okay, how can I connect with those people? And this is something that you teach really well about, and you've grown our Instagram following has been grown organically through
Yeah.
us interacting, and spending time on there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And this is what many people are failing because they're trying to hire people to do things for them and to do follow-ups and everything. But you need to do all these things authentically if you really want to grow your Instagram with the right people. And this is what I do. Like every single day, I spend 30 minutes on our Instagram and engaging with people and growing our Instagram followers that way because I specifically, specifically looking for people who are the right audience for us. And many times, what Jody mentioned to you guys, and that's so true. Like people ask other like business owners asking other business owners, let's follow each other. Like maybe your audience is going to grow, but who are you talking to? Are you going to talking to
And
the people who going to come to your business? You are not. Maybe it's going to make you to feel good that you have 6,700 followers, but are those people listening? Are they engaged? Are they your target audience? So that's really the
Mhm.
real question here.
Exactly. And then it comes into the ads themselves. Like, so when you're trying to run a promotion, boosting your promotion is not going to work. And a lot of the time you haven't even thought out your promotion to make sure that you meet the key things, which is one, how many times someone sees it. Two,
Mhm.
is it attractive to them? 3, can it stop the scroll? 4, is it going to make them click? Like, you've got that 3 seconds in there. There's so many of these little nuances that go into understanding the ads. And if you don't take the time to learn it, then all that money that you're using on boosting your posts is just going to waste. You're better off not to spend it there and invest it somewhere else. So this is where you need to set up your Meta Studio, your Meta Suite. And it sounds scary. It's not. It's no more scary than if you're first learning to do bleach, or you're first learning to what is in the Pilates studio, Adriana, when you're up on the
Using the
trapeze table,
reformer, using
or
the
using the
reformer.
reformer,
Yeah,
doing doing something a little bit tricky on the reformer, or you've got
yeah,
your first client. The first
yeah.
time you engage with it, it's scary, it's overwhelming, you don't know what
Mm,
you're gonna do. Trust me, you can't break, unlike a person or someone's hair,
mm,
you can't break it, like
yeah,
anything you break on it, you can fix.
yeah,
Bodies and
yeah,
hair are so much more scary than the meta.
yeah,
But
yeah,
this is where in the meta end and doing your ads through there and understanding what you're doing is that
yeah,
you can be specific about who sees your ads, and that's what
yeah.
we need to learn how to do. And then
And I,
you need to
yeah,
yep.
sorry, no, no, just you, after you.
Sorry. Um, and then I was gonna say you need to track them.
Mhm.
And, why do you need to track them?
Yeah, so before we go into that, what I wanted to say about the the advertisement, the meta suit is like I know studio owners and salon owners. We just want to give it to someone. We don't want to deal with it because this is not what we know. Like we are passionate about what we are doing. We are passionate about, like hair and, teaching our clients with the right posture and everything. And we don't really want to deal with it. But the thing is, you can outsource it, but in the beginning you need to learn about this, because you need to know what is it, and you need to know, like who is going to be the right person for you to outsource it. And once you outsource it, you need to understand, the statistics. And yeah, we need to understand, when we are tracking results. And this why I think, like, just get a little bit of an understanding about the uncomfortable part, which is the, ads and statistics and marketing, and, finding your niche, and, making um, like creating doable steps for you to achieve your goals. And once you do that, then you confidently can outsource things in your business.
Yeah, like, well, if we take a look at when we first started and we started outsourcing because we didn't understand it. We didn't, it was
Mhm.
scary. I didn't want to do it. There's people out there that are experts. They're market media experts. They're the gurus. They can do it all. So I'll give it to them. We spent over how much, I think, Adri,
I
from
think it was
memory? It was
over $28,000.
yeah, so
Yeah.
nearly $30,000. It
Yeah.
was nearly $30,000 mistake because we didn't know what we were actually doing and we didn't understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they said all the right things that
Mhm.
sounded right to us and everything that we'd heard about it. And they got us to fill in 100 different questionnaires and give us all these, little things to put up. There wasn't one return on it because it wasn't talking to the right people. We didn't understand what was going on in the back end. We didn't understand so many of the things that you need to understand before you can actually hire someone to do the job for you.
Yes, yes, yes. And like the truth is that there is no easy way around. Like and it comes back again, education, isn't it? It
Mhm.
comes back
Yeah.
for us, to taking responsibility for our own business, and taking
Mhm.
interest even in things which are not our thing, in business, because we always going to have our strength and weaknesses. But it's time for us to see ourselves as a business owner, not just as a stylist or a Pilates trainer or a Pilates instructor. When you have a business owner has basic understanding of everything, every single component of the business. And then once you have the basic understanding, then you will have the luxury to pick and work with your strength and hire for your weaknesses. But you need to arrive there. You can't start the other way around, because it's not going to work. And me and Jodie will learn this the hard way, really, and we
Mhm.
paid for it really, really
And
greatly.
there's so many people out there that are claiming to be these marketing gurus
Yeah.
because they do the Facebook and all the rest of it. But as it turns out, it's not a very regulated industry. It's not like the hair or Pilates industry where someone has to go and be qualified to do it. It can be just anyone coming in and doing it. So you need
Yeah.
to make sure that you know what's going on before you can give it to someone else. All right. Now that brings us to the getting results and tracking those results. And a lot of people, when they're doing their marketing, they're not keeping an eye on their promotions or if
Mhm.
the promotion's working. How many people came in? What did they
Yeah.
spend? What did they like?
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing, the other thing is, most of us, we don't even know what to track or how to track. Or if we are tracking something, like we don't know how to analyze data and what is that data uh, telling us, or, like what we can read out from that data. So that's something, like when it's coming back, tracking the results. It's one thing tracking, and the other thing is to understanding.
Well, that actually brings us to the number one um,
Yes,
reason
but
why. Oh, what?
I think we won't have time for that, because uh, this will bring us to the end of this episode, because we are running out of
Oh,
time today.
oh,
This is actually a quite big subject. So, number one, we're going to share with you at our next episode, guys, because I don't want to cut it short because we don't have enough time for it.
You're right. I didn't realize what the time is. So it looks like you guys will have to catch our next episode where we talk about the number one factor we have to change in the hair, beauty, and wellness industries. We're going to break the statistic cycle that has been in place for years and help salon and studio owners who are passionate about their industry elevate their business to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? This next episode ties in with our upcoming salon and studio empowerment training session, also.
It does because we're so serious about breaking the statistics cycle. I keep calling it the stat cycle because it is. It's been going on for so many years. These stats have stayed consistent for oh, 10 years.
Mm.
It's really horrifying how long it's stayed. Um, so we are dedicated ourselves to helping 100 salon and studio owners in the next 12 months level up into our top 10% club.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the 10% club for all the business owners we have because they are the 10% biggest earners in our industry.
So, if you'd like to learn more and uncover Adri's signature growth techniques and winning formulas, jump into our website, www.focusgdt.com, and register there. You'll need to be quick though, because there's a timer there and it's only free for a certain amount of time before it reverts to $97.
Yeah, and also don't forget about our quizzes. So we have two different quizzes. So one for salon owners, and it's the Mastering Salon Excellence. When you take the quiz and you will reveal your signature growth formula and also receive a personalized salon success quiz report, which is unique to you. And if you are a studio owner, is actually elevating your studio quiz, and when you take this quiz, you will learn the secrets to turning your passion into prosperity and receive your personalized studio success quiz report too.
Okay, that's us. We'll see you next episode. And remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's the same hashtag, the same handle at FocusGDT. And we'll say goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.